with that wind too, so they're going to have to be careful. But in this area, we've seen the main roads again looking fairly good. At least it gives you some hope. But when you look off and get out of the main road here, the interstate system, the main traveled road, tennis court up here that has had a bubble roof over it, and it has collapsed, and we know that in the past they've had experienced the same kind of problem with the collapse on that roof, and so we're going to spin around here and see if we can take a look at it and see if we can find it up here. But it'll take us a few minutes to find that, but right now we'll just send it back to you guys while we look for it, okay?
Yeah, we know it's a little south and east of where you are right now, so we'll get back to you as soon as you find that.
Okay.
Thanks, Keith.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Keith.
it. Well, our situation out there is pretty much stabilized, at least in the past few hours. We were on the air early this morning, and we've had a little snow flurry activity and a little heavier snow in some areas, depending on where you are. And as Keith said, it is snowing more on the west side than it is in Greenwood. And we've heard that the further south you go, in fact, past Seymour, it's pretty nice down there, and the roads are clear. So
it's an upper 2/3 of the state that's not looking good. Travel conditions not great for folks today.
Quite a diverse look across the state of Indiana.
That's
today.
right. And we'll have more team coverage coming up right after this, so stay with us.
Only once a year do we reduce our prices an additional 20 to 40%, which means the only way to beat a Men's Warehouse price is at the Men's Warehouse sale. You're going to like the way you look. I guarantee it.
Behind home plate, courtside, turn 4, the 50-yard line. At Wish TV Sports 8, we know that closer to the action and the players is where you want to be. The closer, the better. No other team in town takes you where we do. In fact, to get any closer,
Will, you're in.
we'd have to be a part of the team. Will Hampton and the Sports 8 team. Nobody gets you closer. Winter weather can turn dangerous. That's why you need the Wish TV forecasters.
Only News 8 has the tools and the technology to give you the first alert.
First alert,
Dual Doppler track storms, Futurecast predicts them days in advance.
days in advance,
And when storms strike, Daybreak School Watch 8 has closing and delays up to the minute.
up to the minute,
When it gets bad, we're always there.
always there. Nobody gets you closer than Wish TV's forecasters. Wish TV's forecasters, keeping you ahead of winter weather.
Well, welcome back to News 8 Special Report, 10:58 right now. We're going to be in the air for another hour, updating you on the latest on our forecast. Chris Wright is with us. We have several live reports, and of course, we have Chopper 8 up in the air.
Exactly, and that's where we're going to go. We're going to talk to Keith McCutcheon, who did find that roof collapse. It is the West Indy Racquet Club, and we understand that one of their kind of a soft roof over top of their tennis courts fell in because of the weight of all of this. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Rick and Shannon. Yes, that's exactly what happened down here. If you look down, you can see right now that there's a center section of it that's out. Apparently, this thing has gotten too much weight on it, and as it dropped through, it smashed a couple of lights that they use to light it in there for when the people are playing. And the whole area down there is just completely covered up with snow as it fell in. And obviously it's going to cause problems for anybody wanting to play tennis here anytime in the near future. Maybe they can go to the one next door to it that's an outdoor court and see if they can strike the ball back and forth there. But looking at it right now, this is going to be down for some time because of the problems down there with the snow on it. Pushed it down and obviously collapsed the thing.
Okay, Keith, and I know we're going to be joined now by Paul Gill, who is the owner of the West Indy Racquet Club. Paul, can you give us an idea of what exactly happened here and what kind of damage we're looking at?
Well, I was stood down here all night long, and we had the furnaces on, which normally will melt the snow off, and all our backup systems were in place. But around 5 o'clock, it just became so heavy and wet and mixed with ice, and we just couldn't handle it, and it was too dangerous to send anybody up on top to try and dislodge the snow. So we just had to sit here and watch it come down. And,
So, Paul, at least you were prepared for this. Nobody was in there playing or got hurt or anything like that.
Right. Nobody was in. It was about 6:30, 7 o'clock Saturday morning.
Paul, describe what type of roof this is, because I know it's kind of a bubble.
It's an air-supported structure. It's similar to what they have downtown, but we don't have any stationary walls. It's all fabric. It's just totally kept inflated by air. it's a translucent structure so that, during the day the sunshine comes through and it has a great feeling of playing outdoors while being inside, except at the present time you're really playing outside.
You're kind of at the mercy of Mother Nature, though, when you get 10 inches of snow and rain and ice on top of that. There's not a whole lot you can do.
Well, in this instance, it was just so quick and so dense, and it just sometimes we can put people up on top and just sort of trampoline the snow off, and we have snow ropes, but none of that worked, and it was just too dangerous under the present conditions to put any personnel up there.
And Paul, what will it take to repair a roof like this?
I don't know. I'm talking to the insurance company Monday morning, and we'll have to have people, the technicians, come out and evaluate it to see whether it can be salvaged or whether it needs to be entirely replaced. But at this time, I don't know. I don't know the extent of the damage. It looks pretty bad.
Has this ever
through
happened?
Some of our light poles and punched holes in it, so it looks to me like the structure is completely shot.
Paul, has this ever happened before, or is this the first time?
Yeah, this is actually the third time. It happened once. We went through the blizzard of '78 okay, and then the last time it went down was in '89, and that was due to a windstorm which ripped a tree out of the woods next to us. The tree was about 3 feet in radius, and it just toppled. It crashed the tree into one of our outdoor light poles, which came in turn and hit the bubble and punched a hole in it, and the winds were 80, 90 miles an hour, and that did the rest of it.
Well, Paul, I know there's going to be
I'm trying to work on interim plans for our members to be able to play elsewhere, and unfortunately everybody that I need to talk to is unavailable over the weekend, so I'll get that started Monday morning. And I'm just concerned that our members do know we're out of business, and so they don't try to risk these terrible roads getting here for nothing.
Exactly. I know there's going to be a lot of disappointed tennis players, but thanks for joining us and good luck.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks,
I hope
Paul.
your New Year starts out better than mine.
Appreciate it. Hang in there. And now we're going to go to Ruth Ann Gordon, who is live on the north side, up around Zionsville, and still snowing up there, Ruth Ann, it looks like?
Still snowing. We've gone through snow squalls where you can't see, several hundred feet in front of you, and then all of a sudden it clears out. So, I mean, this is what the conditions are out here. It's such a difference between, earlier this morning I was at District 52 at Post Road and 21st Street, where you had the building and the news unit to kind of block the wind. Out here, there's nothing to block the wind, and it is bitterly cold out here. I've got ski gear on, and I've got several layers, and I'm cold. Well, I talked to the Indiana State Police, and I've got some updates for you in terms of roads. First of all, in the Connorsville district, way over there on the eastern edge of the state, we've got I-70 that's drifting. One of the lanes they're trying to, the wind is trying to drift it shut. Again, I-70 is not closed, folks. It is open, but we've got snow covered there. And on the other end, in the Putnamville area near Greencastle, we've got one lane open on I-70, and again, we've got some problems in the Greenfield area, or Greencastle area, that is, of drifting, roads drifting shut there, especially north-south roads in the Putnamville area. And speaking, I said of Greenfield earlier, Greenfield, I-70, they were reporting, Pendleton District was reporting whiteouts up there, and we could see, as John Lesage has been showing you, that it's very difficult. You just look off into a sea of white along I-65 northbound. Again, I-65 northbound, it is open, but it's still treacherous out there. It took us quite a while to get up here because we just wanted to go slow, take our time, and be safe. But traffic is moving, but it is slow. And we've also had a report, Shanna, you'll be interested in this, I-70 westbound. We have a report of another accident, I-70 westbound at 267 at the Plainfield exit. Report of a semi that may be blocking an accident there that may be blocking the roadway. Okay. We've had some reports also of whiteouts and problems on 40 as well, and still accidents all around town. And Bloomington They're also reporting low visibility because of the snow and the wind down there. Seymour, though, again, sounds like it's in pretty good shape. I talked to the lieutenant down, or some of the guys down there, and they said it's in pretty good shape. Some slick spots, but we do have road information numbers, and we have put those up on the screen periodically this morning. Let's go ahead and do this again if we can. There's a 1-800 number. 1-800-261-7623 and 232-8300. Those are the numbers that you should call, folks, for the latest in road information, because these districts, the police agencies everywhere are getting lots of phone calls trying to handle other problems, slide-offs and wrecks and what have you, and they're trying to handle those in addition to road information. So please use those numbers if you can for the latest on road information. And watch Channel 8, because I've got the latest road information right here too.
Yes, you do. And you mentioned that you mentioned my interest in I-70. So I-70 there at 267. Folks heading anywhere out to Plainfield area, that's closed.
Well, it's not closed yet, but I mean, right now they've got a semi that's involved in an accident. So obviously you're going to have some problems with lanes that are blocked. And then in addition to lanes that are blocked, then you've got lanes that still have snow on them. So that's going to be slow going out there.
Okay, thanks
so
for that.
That's about
Gordon.
the latest from up here. I'll go make some more phone calls and find some more information for you, okay?
Okay, thanks, Ruth Ann. We'll check
Ruth Ann,
back with you.
Looked like a lot of folks were heading north to Chicago there, but right now let's go out to Diane Keller, who's on North Meridian Street, where it's snowing even more heavily than it looks like up there up north.
Yeah, I was looking at Ruth Ann, and although she's dealing with wind, and we are too, in this particular spot on North Meridian, right in front of the station at 1950 North Meridian, we're dealing and seeing more snow right now. As a matter of fact, I would say about 10 minutes ago, the sun was out and it was quiet, and boy, you sure were fooled. You're thinking, okay, this is it. No, folks, it's not. We're going to be seeing this on and off today, already half an inch at my feet, half an inch of snow. I think we could see another half an inch. Some of you will probably get up to an inch of snow by later on tonight with these little snow squalls that we're seeing on and off. So that's really not uncommon. Kind of expect this. This is not another big winter storm. As a matter of fact, a little disturbance is making its way through the area. So just kind of expect this tonight. I also want to show you a lot of the crews have really been working hard, the road crews, just to get all the snow off the streets. They're going to have to deal with this a little bit. This is a big difference from yesterday when I was standing on this snow. I was actually through it. You can tell by the freezing rain that occurred yesterday. The snow is a lot harder, and so the snow removal, these chunks here, well, I did go through. Live TV is great, isn't it? These snow chunks here are really thick. It's ice, and you can tell really what the freezing rain did to us yesterday. So this is kind of hard to remove, and the road crews aren't able to remove all this ice off the road. So just keep in mind that there are a lot of icy conditions around the area, and lots of people still traveling today, braving the streets. I will say this, that Meridian is in much better shape than it was yesterday, but keep in mind that there are those icy spots, and just because you see these big ice chunks on the side of the road doesn't mean that roads are safe right now, and they are definitely not. I also want to say that in the porch yesterday when Chris and I were out here, we measured about 8 inches of snow, and officially at the airport we had 9.7 inches, so significant snowfalls, although it could have been worse. Up in Chicago they had just about 2 feet of snow. And because we had the freezing rain yesterday, that's why our snow levels were brought down just a little bit. Pretty incredible, though. It's still, whether it's 9 inches, 5 inches, or up to 20 inches, you're dealing with quite a mess here. Of course, the winter blast of 99, and it did come in with a blast, and it's been pretty amazing. Wind gusts have been close to 32 miles per hour at times, especially earlier this morning as this area of low pressure pulls away from us. We're still going to be dealing with a rather strong westerly wind. Keep that in mind. This is why it's going to feel so blustery today. It's really important to dress warmly, especially if you're going to be out making a snowman. I think that's probably the safest thing to do today and not be on these roads. I haven't even left yet, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to tonight. Back to you.
And Diane, anyone watching knows that you need to make a new snowman.
Yes, because Randy ruined Krusty this morning.
He poured coffee over Krusty.
And you know, I'll show you Krusty the next time, and you'll see he's just deteriorating fast.
Oh, you can fill in the holes.
Well, there's more than holes in this poor little guy.
All right, thanks, Diane Keller.
Thanks, Diane.
Live on North Meridian Street. We do have some breaking news to tell you about. We just got word from the Indianapolis Water Company that there is a water main break on the city's northwest side in the area of 3200 North Winfield. That's 3200 North Winfield. A representative from the water company says about 100 residents will be without water until around noon today. So about a little less than an hour or so you should have your water back. If you're without water, she says to leave your water turned off and do not turn on your taps until further notice. And that is the advice of the water company today.
Good advice. And now I think we have News 8's Rick Dawson on the phone, who's going to give us an idea of what Rush County looks like at this hour. Hi, Rick.
Hi, Shanna. 38 hours and counting since the storm hit this part of Rush County. And like most of the rural counties in central Indiana, we are still paralyzed. In fact, the sheriff just recently renewed the snow emergency here for Sunday. After the majority of the snow ended Saturday and the winds died down, a snowplow did come through here. The road was clear for only a short time before actually blowing shut again. Now, the county highway department has been out again this morning. One plow came past, but it has been snowing again for the past hour, heavy at times, and only within the past few minutes are we seeing clear blue skies, which is really a welcome sight. Still, according to the scanner we're listening to, plow drivers are saying they're not making much progress. In fact, in some cases, the plows are getting hung up, and they have to wait for heavier equipment to come in and pull them out. North of here in Henry County, and this just happened within the past few minutes, we're getting word the sheriff's department there is now shutting down the eastbound lanes of Interstate 70 at State Road 3. That's the Newcastle exit because of several accidents there. Now, traffic was already a problem because of a chain reaction accident further east on Interstate 70 involving several tractor-trailer rigs and cars at the 127-mile marker in Wayne County. So the worst of this is not over. Still plenty of problems and still plenty of reasons to stay inside and stay off the roads. Rick and Shannon.
Rick, I know a lot of people make the commute from Rush County to Indianapolis to work, like you and your wife Shannon do every day, 5 days a week. What is it going to be like for you guys to get out over there tomorrow morning as far as those county roads are concerned?
Well, it just really depends on how far along we have to go on the county roads to get to a main highway, and in our case, it's several miles. They have been able to clear some of the main arteries through the county, but again, as we said before, they're blowing shut quickly. A lot of it will just have to do with what sort of wind we're looking at overnight and into tomorrow. If the wind dies down, as Diane pointed out, it's just really kind of a crusty snow here. I mean, you can walk on top of some of the drifts that were frozen solid yesterday by the freezing rain we got. If that stays the case and we don't get much more precipitation in the form of snow and powder, there won't be that much more to blow around and to continue drifting shut. But that's the one concern. If they get more wind through here overnight, that's going to be the kind of thing that really hangs up the plows and hangs up the commuters.
Sounds like the best advice for folks out there is just to stay in and stay warm.
That's what we're trying to do.
Okay, thanks, Rick Dawson, for joining us this morning.
Give our best to the family.
And of course, we're going to be here until noon, so stay with us. We'll have more steam coverage, team coverage, same thing. Storm team coverage coming up next.
Now that's up at north of Lafayette because of problems up there with roads and a traffic accident up there. So again, that's I-65 northbound that they are closing because of an accident up there. Also, Rick Dawson touched on this too, and I want to reiterate, I-70 now, eastbound and westbound at State Road 3, they've got several accidents. One that's including 3 semis. So they are shutting down I-70 eastbound and westbound at State Road 3 out there. So it's really getting treacherous out here driving. John, if you can pan over, look how the wind is tossing this sign. That's the problems that you're having out there. And then if you look on beyond that, you see, you know, it just goes into, it looks like just a whiteout. And that's the problems that they're having all over the northern part and northern part and central parts of the state. Southern part of the state seems to be in pretty good shape. So, but if you would section off the state, a north section, central section, and south section, the north section and central section seem to have some problems with whiteouts because the Pendleton District in Hancock County, they're reporting whiteouts, Red Key, Delaware County, Muncie, and on north. And of course, we've had whiteouts up in the Lafayette area, Tippecanoe County area, and we see some whiteouts out here too, periodically. So in those areas up north, we're having whiteouts and problems with slick conditions. Central Indiana, same sort of thing. But the only nice area it seems to be right now is the southern part of the state, the Seymour District, and on down there. So if you have to travel, it's going to be treacherous today. And this traffic that you're seeing heading northbound, well, they're going to be stopped. And it's going to be a backup up in that direction. So again, 65 northbound closed just north of Lafayette.
Not a good day for traveling northbound on I-65 across central Indiana.
No, it really isn't.
No. The reason we're going to talk a little bit about the whiteout, because that's something you're going to hear a lot of folks talking about. Go to the weather computer and I'll show you where that's most likely to happen. We've got blowing snow advisories in effect over much of the state, over the northern half.
Here with us from Carmel, and you're returning after 10 days out on the West Coast, and there's a certain situation that you've been monitoring downstairs regarding luggage.
We arrived at 10 a.m. We're still here waiting for our 5 pieces of luggage. 5 other airlines arrived at the same time. They've been trying to get the bags off the planes, but right now sometimes we see that the chute gets stuck and they're pushing the bags, and well, there's an awful lot of people downstairs a little bit unhappy waiting for their bags.
And they've been waiting for more than an hour?
That's what we've been doing, waiting for more than an hour. We're still waiting. Yep.
And this kind of delay is not necessarily like a weather kind of delay, but the fact that the schedule has caused all these planes to come in at the same time, and just the demand for your luggage has gotten to be too great.
Seems to be. Right now we're just waiting, and there's an awful lot of people downstairs, everybody from all over the place. Yes.
Okay. Tonya, thank you very, very much. Well, I'll let you go back downstairs and watch for your luggage. Now, I've been downstairs myself, and you actually can see that baggage claim carousel continue to go round and round and round, and there's not a single bag on it. And imagine what that's like. You've gone to the airport before and you wait for your bag to come up, but you never do see it. Now you're waiting and you don't see any bags at all.
Exactly.
So,
most of us don't know what it's like to have to wait a couple of hours for our baggage, just maybe half an hour or so. So we sympathize with the folks.
Yeah, imagine waiting for more than an hour, maybe another day, for example. You don't know where your bag might be.
Exactly. Thanks. Tony Perkins reporting live from the Indianapolis International Airport.
Everybody that's ever lost their luggage raised their hands. I know Keith McCutcheon, he takes his luggage in the chopper with him. He's over Lebanon now. Hi, Keith.
Right, we keep the luggage here and in the baggage compartment back with Kevin, so we won't lose ours. And neither will we get to Lafayette tonight. If traveling by air was a good idea, this isn't. We are down right now in Lebanon. We are over the top of I-65 where a truck stop is. There's several trucks here that have pulled over, and they're deciding to wait this out. But north of here, we tried to go north, and Chris was talking about the whiteout conditions, and we can tell you right now that you can get into those very quickly. We had to turn around because we were getting into low visibility due to the snow and the blowing snow, and we were going to try to see how far up north we could go and to show you what the road conditions were like farther up to the north. But right now we can tell you that watching the cars go through here, they're going through very slowly, and they're very sparse. They're not a lot of people traveling up through here. There's some semis that are going up through here with some cars, but a lot of people are not on this road. They're not taking the road north to Chicago or to Lafayette, and they are going to experience the problems when they get farther north. We in the Lebanon area, the county roads are completely iced over. When we were en route up here, we went through areas where we saw schools. Well, the schools have their lots plowed, but now the lots are full of ice. And so that's going to cause problems if the schools do open tomorrow. This area right here, though, really slow going. The cars are just barely getting through. There's maybe 1-2 lanes open some places, down to 1 lane. In the county areas, we are seeing a lot of drifting snow over the top of the roads. As Rick mentioned earlier, that's going to be problems for people in the county areas, and we have seen that. We're going to go look for some of those areas in a little bit if we can, if the weather lets up a little bit, so we can do that.
Yeah,
but for right now up in Lebanon, it's very, very treacherous and slow going up here, Rick and Shannon.
Yeah, Keith, it looks like your ceiling is dropping down on you a little bit there.
It's not really the ceiling. We've got good ceiling up here. We've got about a 2,500-foot ceiling. That's not really a problem. That visibility is dropping just because of the blowing snow a little bit. So we're going to follow the highway back towards Indianapolis here and see if it improves a little bit.
All right, thanks, Keith McCutcheon and Chopper 8. We'll get back to you in a few minutes.
And now I know we have Alden Taylor with the Indiana Emergency Management on the telephone at this hour. Alden, what's the worst area at this point in central Indiana?
Well, the whole area from central Indiana on north is in bad shape. The worst would be on the western part of the state along Interstate 65, which it was reopened this morning, but conditions are not ideal. And in fact, it is hazardous, and extreme care needs to be taken for anybody who's venturing on it.
What is the situation for state government workers tomorrow as far as getting to work and being able to carry out their jobs?
That still has to be, decisions has to be made. The situation as far as the state and the weather is concerned is something that's developing on an hour-by-hour basis. We will be looking at that and making a decision later in the day, making a recommendation to the governor.
Alden, talk to folks a little bit about what you guys are responsible for. How do you help the counties out?
We're a coordinating agency. That means that while we don't have the manpower, the personnel, the equipment to send out to places, when local governments are beyond their resources, we have the ability to coordinate state response. Here at the Emergency Operations Center, we have had representatives from the Red Cross, the State Police, National Guard, Department of Transportation, Department of Natural Resources, just to mention some, that when a problem comes in where assistance is needed, opening a shelter, extra equipment to help plow, we can find out where the most appropriate piece of equipment or the most appropriate personnel are and get them to that place as soon as possible.
We've been pretty lucky this winter so far, and even in the fall we haven't had much bad weather at all. I have to ask at this point, though, if the storms continue and the road crews have to stay out, how are the supplies doing as far as equipment, materials that are needed to remove snow and that sort of thing?
We haven't heard any problems yet with supplies, but that's something that, for instance, the Department of Transportation would be working on, and as part of their planning is to deal with a situation like this.
I guess, so the best advice for those traveling north is to check highway conditions with the state police and other agencies, maybe in local counties, or just call someone who lives up in northern Indiana if you're driving that way, that you know someone up there, and ask them what the situation is like, I guess.
And if there's any way you can postpone your trip, do it. It's best to stay in on a day like today, even though the weather is getting better. The effects that we are suffering from yesterday's storm are still there. So the conditions are not improving, they're just not getting terribly worse.
Okay, Alden Taylor, thanks for joining us. We know you're busy. And I think we're now going to go to Ruth Ann Gordon, who's standing out along I-65 up on the north side, up near Zionsville. Ruth Ann, what are conditions looking like there
Well,
now?
you know, it's interesting. You know, I told you earlier that earlier this morning, I guess we had a wind block because we were closer to the truck, and also closer to a building. Out here, I am just amazed at how bitterly cold the temperatures are. I knew the wind, and we listened to Chris, and we listened to Diane and Randy all morning about the wind, and you never know until you're out in it how cold. At the end of my last report, it was so cold my face was freezing up. And the thing is that you're going to have to watch out for is these bitterly cold temperatures if you're going to head north. Now, we still have problems on I-69, and of course, as I told you, northbound at just north of Lafayette, that is closed right now due to an accident. We also have problems on I-70 out at State Road 3. That's closed, both eastbound and westbound, and at this point in time, they don't know when they're going to open that up because of wrecks. And we've had a number of slide-offs. We've had a number of wrecks in the Indianapolis area as well. And of course, I already told you about the one at I-70 and then the Plainfield exit. So we've got some real problems around town, and conditions up here, well, they're just not good. As you look out north of here, of the 334 exit, you can see that it just goes into a blanket of snow. And it's just bitterly cold out here, and you can see why there are problems on the roads just because of these shots that John Lesager is giving you right now. So it's very difficult out here. Conditions are tough. The snow, the continual blowing of snow, and the ice that's on the road makes travel just really, really tough.
And Ruth Ann, I noticed that there's not a lot of cars on the roads at this point. Does it look like that travelers are actually staying in at this point?
Well, I don't know about that. We go through spurts of travelers because a few minutes ago we saw lots of trucks heading north. I don't think they realize that it's I-65 is closed up there just north of Lafayette. It's just best if you can stay home, just to stay home today, because it's just really bad out, and let some of these crews try to get some of the snow off the roads, because that's what you're having trouble with, especially up north and in I-70 out both west and east, Greencastle, and out towards State Road 3. You've got some lanes drifting shut just because of this wind.
Okay, Ruth Ann Gordon reporting live from I-65 up near Zionsville. Thanks, and we'll check back with Ruth Ann in a little while.
All right. And here in the Indianapolis area, at least in Marion County, you have a little more travel freedom. That's because we're not under a snow emergency in Marion County. Joining us live on the phone now, Indianapolis Mayor Stephen Goldsmith with the latest on how the crews are holding up. First of all, Mayor, as far as moving all this snow.
They've got a good attitude. They view this as one of their most important responsibilities. There's a little fatigue. We've been doing 12 on, 12 off now since Thursday night, and there's begins to be a little bit of back pain. 12 hours in a row behind one of those plows and those big trucks is a problem. But the men and women are holding up pretty well. We're having a little bit of a problem with some of the equipment. Those larger trucks really haven't been shut off since Thursday night, and some of the hydraulic systems are a little bit weak. But generally, we have more pieces of equipment over a longer period of time than we've ever had before. The primary streets in Marion County, we think, are in pretty good shape. I mean, given the situation, the collector roads, the next level down of traffic roads, are plowed, although they're probably not quite as heavily salted. So the ice packs that you're reporting are on those, and then we get to the next level, which is the 6,000 or 7,000 lane miles of residential roads, which are still have a fair amount of snow and ice, and we're working through some tests to see what we can do in that regard right now.
And Mayor, I know rush hour on Monday morning is going to be a big concern. Is that your biggest concern at this point, and what are you doing, what are crews doing to prepare for that?
We actually have some choices that we're trying to make here over the next several hours. We've got all of the major roads are open and they're passable. We can continue to go on those roads and open up additional lanes. We can also try to work through a little bit of the subdivision inventory. We are in the process, have been all morning, of talking to school superintendents, trying to address their issues and help them make a decision. We're going to caucus on that shortly after noon. So I think in terms of rush hour, it won't be much fun because there'll be places where there were 2 lanes and now there are 1, and that could have an agonizing effect on travel. But the fact of the matter is if a worker can get to their major streets that they take to downtown or the 465 ring, they'll be able to do that. We got to look and see how kids get through their subdivision and how people kind of unbury their cars, and those issues are much more difficult.
Yeah, you touched on schools there briefly, Mayor, the school buses getting in and out of the neighborhoods. Have you been in touch with IPS or any of the other districts about what their decisions might be for tomorrow? Yeah, we've been in touch with most of the school districts this morning, trying to look at a couple things. What could we do that would help them make a decision? Also making sure they have, we're trying to look through that with some of the schools. Some of the schools haven't done their parking lots yet and a few other issues, so I think probably by mid-afternoon we'll have all the information to them they need to make a decision, and hopefully we can report to the public as well.
And Mayor, I know that we're not under a state emergency here, or a state of emergency here in Marion County, but what would you recommend to viewers at this point? You've been out on the roads all morning. What are the conditions like?
Well, we haven't declared a state of emergency because we think that residents should make up their own mind, and depending on whether they're going to the doctor or how badly they need food or whether they have an elderly parent that needs some help, those are all personal decisions. If you don't have something that's imperative, it makes no sense to be out. I mean, even where we've been in salted, there's still this ice pack that is a bit hazardous. So all in all, it's better for people to stay in. They'll have to use their own good judgment, but if they stay in, they'll give us a little bit more time to work through this.
And I know I followed a plow in this morning. Is there anything that people that do have to be out can do to help your city crews?
Really, I think the Central Indiana residents have been pretty good about this. They, about 95% of them know how to stay out of the way of the plows and then get over. We have people whose cars are buried on major thoroughfares, which would be nice if they were out of there so we could plow that lane. But in all fairness, I mean, some of those cars are under like 2 or 3 feet of snow, and it's difficult to get out. People are hiring plows to do their residential subdivisions or their retail areas. It is against the city ordinance to plow the personal snow into a city street. We have a fair number of organizations that just clear their parking lots by pushing the snow back in our streets, and that's not helpful at all. So try to get your cars off the thoroughfares, reduce your driving to whatever you think is necessary. And if you have a commercial operation, try to pack the snow in the corner of your lot and not on our city streets.
I asked Alden Taylor this same question as far as the state is concerned about supplies holding up. You've only been in the snow battle for a couple of days now. Are the supplies holding up pretty good as far as salt and other chemicals?
Yeah, we have 9 semi-tractor loads delivered today. We're going through it at a pretty rapid rate, actually money and salt. We use a lot of salt here in Indianapolis in ice storms like this, but I think we'll be okay. As the temperature gets colder, the salt works less, obviously. That's a little bit of a concern, but I think we'll be fine with salt and equipment, and men and women seem to be in pretty good spirits. It's just that with the real cold weather and 9 to 10 inches of snow in the streets, problems are a little bit more substantial.
All right, Indianapolis Mayor Stephen Goldsmith, thanks for joining us, and we hope to hear more from you this afternoon as far as schools and the Monday morning rush hour are concerned. And speaking of schools, the Eagle Union schools in Zionsville have called in. They're the first to call in and cancel school for Monday. That's the Eagle Union schools in Zionsville.
Now let's go over to Chris Wright, who can give us an idea of what folks can expect throughout the afternoon and evening, and as well throughout the week. Hi, Chris.
Well, I think the guy from the State Emergency Management said it best. Things aren't getting any better across central Indiana. They're just not going to get any worse. They're just going to stay about the same. So it's really not going to be improving until a couple of days get a chance to go by and we have a chance to get all this stuff off the roadways. So any travel that you can delay, you'd be better off doing it. And I find it very difficult to believe that most schools would be open tomorrow when you look at the fact that many of them haven't done their parking lots yet and that the roads are still icy and snow covered, especially in some of the neighborhoods, which where getting out of your driveway is going to be the major challenge for most areas. Let's talk about our weather across central Indiana. Take a look outside right now. We've got gray skies and some snow showers and flurries are coming down across the region, as this is going to be a rather cold Sunday as Winter Blast 99 will continue across the region. Live shot from Tower Cam showing you the gray skies, managing to get a few peaks of sunshine through those clouds, but also still a few flurries are flying as well. Traffic is moving along rather slowly. As far as our temperatures are concerned, we've got a cloudy sky and the temperature right now 16 degrees. We've got some snow, wind chill at 19 below zero when you factor in that wind from the southwest at 24 miles per hour. Our humidity at the moment 84% with a dew point temperature 12. Barometers on the rise at 29.82. And right now at the airport, they're reporting half-mile visibility. Take a look at the low temperatures today on the weather computer. It was a rather chilly start to our day. Down.
It should be a good time today.
Let me ask you about the New England-Jacksonville game. Who do you like in that one?
Well, I'm a big Mark Brunell fan, so I like Jacksonville in that game. I think the fact that Drew Bledsoe's out of that game for the Patriots, it's going to be tough for those guys to win down in Jacksonville. So I like Jacksonville, and I also like the Packers beating the 49ers today.
And of course, IU has their hands full just having lost to Iowa, but they're back home now. That makes a big difference for the general.
I'm sure. Yeah, and when you don't lose too many games when you play for Bob Knight, I'm sure Bob Knight they're going to get a victory today against Illinois, hopefully.
All right, thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, AC. Well, now we're going to head back over to the forecast center and get a last look at the weather throughout the afternoon with Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, guys, we'll check on the weather one final time so we can get to all the sports programming. I can't wait for to see the Jacksonville game myself. Let's hope Jacksonville takes out New England. Let's take a look at super Doppler rate. First of all, we still have a few light snow showers and some flurries going on across central Indiana. That's going to continue throughout the afternoon. On the Neighborhood Weather Network, we go to Hamilton Heights High School in Arcadia, where the current temperature in Arcadia 15 degrees, but the wind chill 18 below due to a strong wind coming in from the northwest. On the weather computer, this is going to be a frigid Sunday of weather. We'll see temperatures in the teens combined with winds up to 25 miles per hour. That'll create wind chill values 10 to 20 degrees below zero today, and not much relief in sight. Snow showers are likely tomorrow, the high temperature 12, 21 with sunshine on Tuesday. Then snow showers are likely on Wednesday and again on Friday. The good news is on Thursday and Friday, high temperatures will warm back into the 30s, low temperatures in the 20s. So maybe everybody will get their driveway cleaned out by Friday afternoon with that high temperature 35. But unfortunately, more snow on the way in the week ahead. We'll keep watching the weather throughout the afternoon and have updates for you between the games and at halftime. And of course, a full report coming up on News 8 at 6. Guys.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And I know we want to go back out to Keith McCutcheon one more time in Chopper 8 and get a last look there. Hi, Keith.
Shot of the city. Are you there, Keith?
We've arrived back downtown, Rick and Shanna, and I can tell you that what a difference a few miles makes. We were just up north in Michigan Road, 52nd Street area. We were into the snow there. We were all the way up north around Lebanon, and really heavy snow in that area. We come back downtown, it's clear here. So as they've been telling you all morning long from the forecast center, it's just going to be spot bands of snow coming around and dropping the snow in the areas. But right down here downtown looks great. Traffic's moving great. Just be careful if you have to get out, Rick and Shanna.
Okay, Keith McCutcheon reporting live from Chopper 8. Thanks for joining us this last hour and a half. We appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, for those who've been with us all morning, we thank you. Coming up next here on CBS, the NFL Today. And then coming up tonight, At 4 p.m., Illinois versus IU, that game in Bloomington. IU back at home after a loss to Iowa. And News 8 at 6 p.m. We will have Mike and Debbie will be in. We'll have special reports all afternoon. Our weather team will be here to keep you up to date with the latest on the forecast. Our winter storm conditions, for the most part, have stabilized, but in those outlying areas, especially in northern Indiana, north I-65, north of Lafayette, conditions are not good up there as far as traveling goes.
That's right.
And people still locked in at the airport looking for ways to get back home from the holidays. We hope wherever you're traveling that you go in safety today and that you get home and back in time for work on Monday morning and school. We hope. We want those kids back in school.
We want those kids in school. Rick wants his kids in school. Thanks for joining us.
From your local weather station, this has been a Wish TV Weather Alert. Star News Readers poll results are in, and thank you for your vote.
Best male anchor.
Mike Ahern.
Best female anchor.
Debbie Knox.
Best local TV personality.
Patty Spittler. And once again, your station for the best local news coverage. Story after story, day after day, News 8 gets you closer.
$20,000 for a new car? Ouch. It gives you personal. Welcome back to the special edition of Eyewitness News 5 at noon. You're looking at cloudy skies. We have seen a few peaks of sunshine today, and you can see lots of snow on the ground. And we'll continue to see the off and on snow throughout the tri-state today. And it looks as though much of the same expected across much of the tri-state region as well. Some of you may have some travel plans for today. So let's take a look at the Doppler 5000 network. And you're going to be looking at lots of clouds out there. And with that in mind, let's check in now with Eyewitness News 5's Ryan Owens, who's in Queensgate now live for an update on the latest road conditions. Ryan?
Well, Todd, take a look at 75, and you can see that on this very busy travel day, things are still moving okay. The only trouble spot is, as far as interstates that we've heard of, is 74, that on the way to Indiana. Some of the Indiana State Police telling us that there are some trouble there. But if you have a tough time driving on this stuff, don't feel bad. Check out what the professionals are going through. We have some video from the Greyhound station here in Cincinnati, and you can see that some of the bus drivers, even they are having a tough time getting around in this, and people are stuck there waiting in line, and some of them having to no doubt take a seat, and they will be in the scenic, in Cincinnati slightly longer than they may have thought so. So, in fact, just about a few minutes ago, there was a Greyhound bus parked here at the Holiday Inn parking lot where we are, with the sign marked Chicago, and it was here all night and just took off a few minutes ago. So hopefully some of those people may shortly be able to take off and get to their destination. But again, as far as the roadways, interstates are okay. The side streets around the tri-state still slow going. Live in Queensgate, Ryan Owens, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
Good afternoon. I'm Lee Searcy, live at the International Airport. If you're headed this way and you haven't left your house yet, you may want to stay put because we've got some information that may save you a wasted trip. Some people are sleeping on the floor. They're just making the best out of a bad situation. There are many delays here, many cancellations, especially if you're headed to Chicago. The runways are actually working and up and running here in Cincinnati, but the problems come at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. Many stranded tourists, they have been there for many hours, some of them a day or two. It has been like this. Many of the runways are completely closed. The planes are iced down. It is just too dangerous. Now, they do have some flights coming and going, but it's causing a big ripple effect across the country because airport officials say when you have a storm like this move through, it takes at least a day and a half for other planes to get back on track. Now, basically, take a look behind me. There are some lines, but I can tell you that you may have to wait, whether you're flying out or waiting to pick up someone, maybe an extra 30 minutes, an extra hour. So just keep that in mind, whether you're flying out or picking a family member or friend up. Reporting live at the International Airport, Lee Searcy, WLWT Eyewitness News 5.
And coming up in this special edition of Eyewitness News 5 at noon, the cold is here, wind chills well below zero, and it's going to stay cold. We'll have a final look at your 5-day coming up next.
And people are getting back out on the roads. It was a very different picture late last night and early this morning when sleet and freezing rain coated everything with a thin sheet of ice. Salt trucks and plows were doing their best, but many drivers stopped here in Breezewood, the midpoint of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, because conditions just got too bad. The nasty weather has finally moved out of Pennsylvania, but roads here may still be slick. We got a report about an hour ago of an overturned vehicle north of Pittsburgh blocking the Pennsylvania Turnpike. So drivers head